let's go ahead and roll all cameras right now.
Rolling cameras.
Rolling.
Hey, Brandon, give me a little snap.
Why can't I just do something that's boring? 'Cause doing scary stuff's exhausting. Sometimes I get the creeps. Everybody's watching me. Why can't I just do
I want to say thank you so much for being here, all of you guys, for bringing your talents and your music and your energy into the space. I deeply appreciate every single time we get to have a new group of people in this space, and every unique group is unique in the way that they combine energies and musical influences and ideas. And I'm really excited to hear from you, Brandon. We have this incredible group of guys here who you have shared, and earlier are some of your best friends, some of your longest relationships. Tell me a little bit about why this group of guys.
Yeah, it is picking people who I love, who have supported me and have been part of any sort of creative journey I've been a part of. And they're going to laugh and they're going to act like they're not important to me. But the truth is, like, this is all that this was an excuse to get these people in the room with these people and to try to just, make something really amazing and fun. And I think that's the point, is the collaboration that happened here, that's already happened, is like, that's what I was after. And doing it with legitimately my best friends. I mean, I have 2 neighbors here. I have a lifelong couple friends. I mean, it's just like everything about it just kind of points to this direction we're all going, which doesn't have to be magnanimous or ginormous, but it's like this. We're just here, and we can do it. So I feel comfortable. I feel supported. I'm surrounded by people who I love, and I know they love me, so I can go out and be brave and try and do scary stuff. Yeah. And if I fail, it's all good. It doesn't really matter anymore.
And when you guys get a call from Brandon, what does it mean to you to be in a moment with him and his music?
I was pretty reluctant, honestly. No, Brandon and I have been making music together since I was in, like 9th grade, I think. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, literally anything. It's like, they call me whenever, and I'll be wherever that is. I almost missed today because of my nail appointment. But
you thought it was 11 p.m.
I was like, I don't know.
Which is normal. I guess a good way to give us some foundation here too is, Boring is the first song that we cut that we felt like was worth cutting. We've been writing songs our whole lives. That's all we do. And we still have a hard time calling ourselves songwriters. It's just such an imposter thing. But we had families. We're having families. We're hanging out with our kids. We're all, doing that thing, being dads. And I think throughout that process, songs start coming up. And you're like, man, what do I do with this? Let me just start writing and see what happens. And this particular song, Boring, I literally got that first verse like in its entirety, just driving in the car, and I called Mark first, and we're just talking.
You told me you called me first.
I'm sorry, Matt. It was Mark, but I called Mark and said, "Hey, I've got this melody. What are you doing?" He has a shop South OKC, and he was in the studio. And he's like, I was writing this riff, and I have this really interesting riff I've been playing with. And I said, well, I'm 5 minutes away. Let me come down and see if it works. Why not? And it totally worked. And I think from there, I brought it to John, and me and John started just kind of playing with it and making it more. And then I think Matt was right in there. And the whole time, these two have just kind of been like confidants in any way possible, and amazing, both of them, amazing musicians. So I just can remember where I was when I showed everybody Boring and how it happened and at what state someone heard it or at what bare bones it was. So truly, like, it was totally collaborative, and to be able to take it to the studio and cut it and then bring it back here and play it is just like, that's the dream come true. But yeah, I mean, the phone calls about Boring were just about Boring, but then Boring inspired something else, which inspired something else, and that's the age-old, get over that first hump of like, what are we doing here? And you can open the floodgates.
You talked about feeling like an imposter, but I've watched you two specifically together, but we all grew up in music trying to write about these experiences that maybe we hadn't experienced yet. We wanted to feel them,
Yep.
And then all this time has passed. Like you said, we have families, we've got kids, we've gone through life. And so you're writing from this different perspective now. And, you know, you're chasing the purity of a song, but also truth in it. So you're not an imposter, and the virtue and all of those things I feel like is coming together for you in this moment. It's so fun for me to watch. I personally thought you were calling me for an HOA problem. You know, he's the president. I don't know if he planned on sharing that.
I wasn't going to talk about it, but I am. I am the president of our HOA. And
Genre specifically, we consider it HOA music.
Yeah. This is my vice president right here. True story. True story.
Wow, that's crazy. Mom's about to go crazy in their vans.
Yeah. This is, I think, arguably.
That's
maybe,
our audience now.
It is HOA music.
That's
I'm glad you said that.
We could really identify.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
The only problem is we're going to have to turn it down a little bit.
We've invented a genre in real time.
HOA moms.
Let's go. Okay, target audience. Oh, Stans. So we got a chance to talk about the creative process with Boring specifically, sort of the trickle effect of an idea in the car to Mark's studio over to refinements by eventually the rest of the crew here. And in that creative process, is that something that was novel for you at the time? Had you guys been doing it that way for a while, or did that begin a process for you guys?
I think it was more so we have been doing this our whole lives, but we had never had like an end for it. We never did it for like, we probably, the chances of us getting this song done were slim. We just weren't going to do it. We were going to write it and we'd go to the studio and demo it out and we'd love it and listen to it our whole lives. But like to go a step further, it's just, it didn't feel necessary. It's like we did what we wanted to do. This is awesome. But I had thought, what if there was another step? Like, would this be one I'd take somewhere? And I've been wanting to do something before I turned 40, just to kind of have these ideas from the last 10, 15 years laid out. Really our ideas, like all these things that are written are, you know, influences of influences. So I just sent a message to Aaron Gillespie.
1, 2, 3, 4. Come on, dude. Come on.
It's there, dude. Yeah. No, I sent a message to Aaron Gillespie on Instagram. We have had kind of a history. He had been part of some of Matt and I were in a touring band back in the day, and he had been a supporter and helped us with some things. So I was hoping that he would remember me, but I just sent him the demo to 3 songs, to Boring and a couple others that we ended up cutting, and it was just like, you know, I doubt I'll ever hear back.
Pipe dream.
Yeah, why not? But it would be so cool to work with him. Like I've wanted to. I've met him before, and I've seen videos of him working in the studio, and he kind of works in a way that I like to work. So I just shot it, and like 2 hours later, he wrote back, and he was like, "Dude, these are sick. Like, when are you trying to come in?" I was like, "Well, hold on." No, I wanted to before I was 40, and I was 37 when I messaged him, and he was like, "Just come in May, dude. Let's just do it." And I was like, "All right, let's figure it out." So I went down there, and it was, you know, obviously terrifying, but in a good creative way. Like, terrifying creativity is like the drug, man. That's that's magic. Yeah. And when you come out of that with something, it's like that's the existence of God. Like that's how you know God's real, man. And so I went down to Nashville and cut 3 songs, and we had, you know, kind of written them how we wanted them, and then he gave his input on some things, and all of it, like he's like a Michael Jordan in the studio.
Pulled stuff out.
Yeah, is a lot of fat trimming. Like we don't need that part. Get it out of there. Like it's just, it felt good to work with somebody that I could just give my utmost trust to and not have to. I'm not worried about being cool or if it sounds like, I know that if he's going to help me and sign off on it, it's going to be something that I can be proud of. So that's kind of how it turned. And we did those 3, and he was like, "Would you come back?" And I was like, "Would you have me back?" And he was like, "Dude, of course." And I was like, "Oh my gosh." So I've gone back several times, and we've got some stuff done, but Boring is literally like, that's where it started. That's kind of this idea that we're all stuck in this rut of we hate going to our jobs, but we know they're necessary. We wish we could just spend time with our families, but we know that we can't because of the way the world works. We have to make money, but to make money, you got to sell it's just insane. And I don't know why it's so hard for me to just do something boring, but that's kind of the plea of the song.
Wow. Hard in the sense that there are barriers in front of you, imposed upon you, and barriers within you.
Both.
that keep you from being in that place. Tell me a little bit about the barriers within. Like, what are the things that keep you from settling in that place?
I mean, but it's both. I guess it's like the barrier of not wanting to look dumb, the barrier of like not thinking anybody needs to hear this, the barrier of just saying, I was obviously given this song is how it feels. So that kind of breaks through the barrier of like, well, it's not up to me to decide who wants to hear it, and that's kind of unfair for me to operate like that. So then you meet someone like Logan, at a time when we had just got back from our second run and we were about to go out and do more songs, and really laid out this idea of playing live at VEUX, and that being like, hey, let's announce that we're doing this at this point. But I think it takes stuff like that. It takes anticipation. It takes an event. It takes just doing something, just to do something, and that's what I think. The barriers are just too vast, man. There's so you could have an excuse for any reason not to do it, and I'm great at it.
And there's at least 100 people that are going to watch that and be in that place right now.
Yeah, potentially.
And how have you experienced the process of overcoming that and moving past? You mentioned one great example, which is that you feel like a song discoverer or inheritor.
Right.
And so the barrier of you in the equation begins to lessen in that perspective.
Yeah, it's not about me.
I like to call them downloads.
Downloads.
I like to call them at least.
Yeah.
We've talked about that.
And it kind of feels like once you do scary stuff, once you get out there and put yourself in a spot where you could just fall on your face, and when you find that you don't, or when you do, you realize what you need to do different next time. It's like there's everybody wants to play, but they don't want to like learn how to play. Everybody just wants to get out there and go, but the reality is like you gotta crawl, man. You gotta learn to walk a little bit before you can run. And I think it's that idea set that I want it to be big right away, and that's not a thing. It's like just make it.
Yeah,
it's kind of how it
it
feels.
needs to exist first. Yeah. Then you can begin a process of perfecting
and
it.
you don't realize the capacity you have until you've reached out and tried to attain it.
Yeah,
I think a big part of it too early on in the process is like Brandon and I have always released stuff together, like under a band name, and this was the first time, especially like after becoming dads, and it's changed the way that we write songs and we experience the world. And it was like, he was like, should we put this out under this thing? And I was like, I don't think you should. Like, this should be you. Like, this is about you. This is your experience. This is it's a whole different project. To me, it was like, we could put it and sonically make it work for stuff we've done in the past. It's like this. And I think a big part of that fear was going like losing the safety net of going like, we can hide behind a band name and do these different things that, there's somebody else carrying this load. Yeah. But to go, no, this is just Brandon on this thing. Wow. This is my voice. This is my, project.
Which is uncomfortable.
It's a safety net that you lose, and you go like, now I'm more vulnerable. I am, if we wrote and put out a bad song, it was like, oh, this band did this, and nobody's going, you by name are responsible for this, and you go like, all right, so you can lose some of that anonymity almost to an extent of going like, I'm just using my government name, and people are associating that with this track, and that can be scary, and to go like, I remember the first time you showed me, I was like, dude, I still listen to the voice note of this song sometimes. You're just like, I love this song, dude. I think you should put it out, and I think you should put it out now. Get out there, record it, let's go. And so unanimously too, he's like, here's all the songs, what should we do if we do this thing? Everybody was like, boring, absolutely. Like, this is the one. I have not been able to get it out of my head since we first heard it.
And what another great litmus test for another barrier, which is this good? Should I do something with this? To have a community of people built in, other creatives that you trust, to give it a sign of approval, and then the next step forward from that, once this group united in that, Aaron also comes and goes, these songs are great.
Yep.
I would love to do this. These steps of approval, that little acts of affirmation, that's pretty special, I think, for an artist.
It's insane. It's magical, man. And it's like not a thing that I can say. It's definitely not lost upon me, but it just feels so magical is the best word. Like every step was so effortless in the sense of getting to even here. Like, and I just can't explain it. And I know if I try to talk about it, it sounds crazy, but this was an attempt to maximize like what I felt like what we were capable of doing. Can we make something that I feel like is up to our potential? And furthermore, like, what's next? Like, is there anything next? But if there's not, it doesn't matter. Like, we just did it. So I
Maybe that's another barrier taken down.
there's a lot
The
of
barrier of
barriers. Yeah.
expectation.
Well, your measurement for success has been, do we have fun doing that?
Yeah.
Of all the projects, whether it was music or just anything.
I think that's how
we
we
have fun doing
count our time, is just the quality of our time
It is, yeah.
together. And
It was worth doing because it was good to do. It would.
yeah, well, Brandon's really good at making things enjoyable when you're doing them with him, like music, right? So it's really fun just to just to hang out and play. I think for a lot of us, like it's been established, we're all working different jobs and all this stuff. But this is just fun.
We've all kind of done it.
Yeah, we've all played
And it's
in
like,
different
now how can we
bands
do
and
it in a
different
way where we
scenarios.
love it? Because we don't have to do that crap that we don't enjoy anymore.
I think having kids changed it a lot too for us. Of going like, it's almost a rejection sensitivity training to go like, I can show my kids the thing that I'm the most proud of, the best song I've ever written, and they just are like, okay, cool. Like, just so unimpressed by it that it really does take the pressure off to go like, hey, if the people whose opinion I care about most in this world, like, all that I do is I just want my kids to be impressed by something that I do, and to go like, they're like, all right, it's fine, you just go like, oh, actually, now I'm over the hump, I've already been rejected in a sense of like, they're like, cool, can I finish playing my, iPad or whatever? It's like
hearing my kids sing boring is echelon above hearing a stadium sing your songs. It is. I've experienced it where I've looked back and I was like, I had no idea all of you knew this song. This is crazy.
Well, you don't know this,
And
but my
we-
son asked to hear.
Yeah, I mean, even that's bigger than that. It's like, and
mine
that's-
is singing the harmony parts.
it's a dangerous
when I'm
dopamine hit,
practicing.
man. It's a dangerous dopamine hit. But
All dads are just addicts.
yeah, but I mean,
like that?
the barrier of is it good enough was that is a huge barrier, and this song in its form would not exist without these people, even the people in this room. Like I remember I showed it to you and you were camping.
Yeah, well, I was literally going to bring this up earlier. The first time Brandon sent me any of his music, we were actually going out to Sedona separately. And I was in a tent by myself, and I was listening to this music in my AirPods, just sitting like isolated in this campsite by myself because I got there a day early, and I was texting Brandon. I was like, dude, this is fire. This is great. And I was just out in the stars listening to his like initial demos of the music, and then we did some other fun
And I met
spiritual
him-
journey
yeah.
stuff in Sedona and some hikes and stuff, and it was really
Yeah, we did the three
a cool
songs,
experience, yeah.
and then I met you in
I remember-
Sedona,
yeah,
and then
absolutely.
we just like climbed up this mountain and
Yeah.
gave the songs away. We're like,
cool.
these weren't ours to begin with. Let's see what happens. But
Yeah.
and then I showed John, and John's like, what are we doing? We got to get on this right now. And I'm like, what do we do? And he's like, I'll meet you Tuesday. Let's get together and start working on
But
this stuff.
that's kind of the thing with Brandon. You can just text us all. We're just like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll do whatever.
But it's just so evidently like.
Getting shared note updates at like 1:30 in the morning.
Sorry,
these
son.
guys.
Sorry about that.
Let's talk about what kind of person Brandon had to have been in your guys' life for years for that to be the quality of relationship. He can just text and at a moment's notice. So it's not lost on me that that's an extraordinary quality. For a group of people today, they have no connection. They're completely isolated. There's whole sections of age and population that are deeply desiring something tangible and something connective. And music so often is that place we find that. I'm very curious to hear from you guys. What makes Brandon the kind of man and father and musician to inspire the relationship that you have with him?
I get to start this one. So, back in the day, Matt was referring to it a little while ago. They played in a band together, and I used to work at this little guitar shop in town, and he would bring me these songs. We went to high school together, but he would bring me these songs while I was at work, and he'd be like, "Hey, I don't like." What chord should I play here? And like we'd work through that, and it's coming from a place of like real authenticity. Like that's Brandon at the core of who he is like what you see is really like it's him. And I remember that from us being younger, growing up together, all the way through working at that guitar shop, and now it just felt like the same thing. Like when he brings these songs, it was like it's no different than when he'd bring them to the shop and we would work those parts out. And so it was just easy. I've been beating his door down for the last few years to write songs together, and we've just been busy with different projects, and it just kind of all fell together. But the way that he, it's more about the friendship side of things for Brandon. Brandon is all about relationships, and he's really good at them. And he can take a moment that's awkward or tense or weird and somehow flip it over on its back and make it great. And I mean, he's hating this right now because we're sitting here talking great about him, but like that's who he is. He doesn't want the attention. Earlier we talked about like this. His name is the title of this thing, you know, and so like, and he wanted.
I keep trying to change it. Even last week, man.
He sent me something last week, and I said, "You're not. It has to be your name, and this is important as a legacy for you, but also just for the rest of us as well." And I'm proud to just have my name that small at the bottom somewhere, you know, that I get to be a part of it with him because. For me, Brandon is kind of a legend in town, right? And but I get to.
And I think for many.
Yeah. And so like, and I think a lot of people feel that way about him, and so it's all about authenticity with him. That's where it all comes from. So,
dude, you were my assistant in a magic show one time. I did a magic show.
That's all we're doing. We're chasing the credit section of your story. That's
you can. I'll put it in big print, man. Yeah. I got asked to do a magic show for a second grade class, and John was my assistant.
So good.
Brandon's been an aspiring magician for how long would you say?
It's been too long.
I'm not joking. He called me yesterday and had talked about should he wear his fake thumb to do a scarf trick during the video.
Hey, here's the best one.
It's in my card.
Pick a card. 1, 2, 3.
Eight of clubs.
assistant.
There it is.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So in and out of music, it's relationship in
really
all
is.
spheres,
Like,
all levels.
I would say even
It has nothing
like
to do with music.
like for
that's
me,
right.
when we started working together, when I was in school, literally, like I would skip class. My mom and dad would let me skip class to go record with Brandon.
Yeah.
Like our first album that we put out
JT.
together. And,
Yes.
Yeah.
Shout out JT Merle.
Shout out JT.
And we like just that. I think we hit a point where it felt like music was almost secondary to the friendship of going like. When we went out on the road together, like touring together, there are these experiences that you have that you go like, hey, this is, even if nobody ever heard the music, what I have here is a relationship that has had these different experiences that people don't get very often. And I would say I would say Brandon, like Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, is consistent. Like from a life perspective of like, he is consistently the social glue of any group that he's in, that you go like, just this is a person who, whenever they're around, you magically have more connections with the other people that are in the room than you did when he wasn't in the room beforehand. And so when you get into the realm of songwriting and doing, it has always been something for us that is deeply emotional work of going like, we try. I think the first song that we ever wrote was a real concept of this is a funny thing. And then after that, it was like every other song afterwards was actually just life experience, things that we were doing at the time. We wrote, I would say most of the songs that we wrote were about the idea of growing up and trying to hold on to whatever this, vibrancy, this vitality is that we had. And it just was like, oh, this is inspiring around every turn. And to go, dude, if we can find a way to like, I moved back to Oklahoma from Pennsylvania in 2019, and it was like right prior to everything shutting down for the pandemic. I remember Brandon calling, going like, hey, you want to come up to like studio? Let's try to do this song that we wrote 15 years ago that we started. What if we finished it? I had some ideas for this thing. And he was like, it's about being a dad. And I was like, I'm in. Like, let's go. And it just was like, oh, now we're at another level. This is my best friend, and we're getting to do something meaningful that like the success is no longer, we've done the things that we wanted to do, touring and all of those things. And now we get to like have something that our family can have. Like one of the songs that he wrote is called When I Die. And it literally is just about that. Like, what am I leaving behind? And that's freaking awesome. Like not a lot of people get that, And so
Matt and I were in a project called Theater Breaks Loose, and John was a big part of it. On and off would help us with stuff. Then he'd go out tour with some people, and Justin helped us. And I met Andrew after Theater Breaks Loose. Yeah. And then Mark was in a band called the Rocket Tops. playing around town at the same time.
Guitars before.
And yeah, man, we really went for it. We had some really great connections here in the city and got to work with some great bands, and we did like 4 or 5 tours. And it, I think we all got to a point where it was like, we want to be with our families right now, and that was on the table. And we had a job offer also that was a pretty good job offer, better than touring pay. So that was tough.
I didn't get paid very much.
Not a ton.
I will say we were
Not
the
a
only
ton.
band consistently to come back in the black, and that was because of Brandon.
Oh yeah, maybe. I don't know, man.
He was default the one who had to deal.
I had to deal with all the money. Yeah, but I guess we did that from 2009 to probably 2011 or 2012.
Yeah.
And we got to play, man, all over USA. We got back and we started doing worship at churches. And then I put together a little project with you. We went and played at Six Flags.
Listen, he calls me and says, I got an idea, right? They want to do front of the line passes for any band that wants to come today. So we're going to create a band and a record just for front of the line passes at Six Flags. You in?
It was
This is an experience.
Brandon
Is this
type
a real
of idea.
story?
Every phone
this
call I
is
get,
not
this is
abnormal.
what I get.
We did this a couple times as
didn't
Theater
know
Breaks
this
Loose.
It was a
We got
blast.
the passes. And
when
then
Theater
it was
Breaks
like,
Loose
I'm gonna
disbanded,
put
they
that-
kept emailing me asking if we would play at Six Flags. I said, by the way, there's no payment, but you do get front of the line passes. And it just hurt too bad to say no. And you were out of town.
Kogan.
And so I called Kogan Higgins and I called Justin, and I think Logan Bethay played with us.
We're putting a band together, man.
We wrote an album in a
Fast
week,
passes.
and I was doing jury duty at the time. I was so bored, man.
Printed shirts.
Oh, we still have 100
CDs.
shirts. Didn't
Yeah.
sell a single shirt. Anybody needs one. But yeah, but even through that, like how fun that was so fun.
blast.
But
That was
that's
so
like,
fun.
but you see what I mean. Social
Yes.
glue here is like
Yeah.
that's the kind of experience that you
Schemes.
have if Brandon's in your life.
Schemes.
Is there are ploys and schemes that come together that are fun for everyone.
Yeah.
You know, nobody's getting hurt by these.
Even
things.
now
These are fun
that we've
things.
had kids, like my kids call they're 16 and 17 now, and like they call him Friday Night Brandon because we seem to always see him out to eat on Friday nights. We like go to this Mexican food place. And we always see-
Hidalgo's shout
and
out.
So
They are a sponsor.
Hidalgo's.
They are a sponsor.
But yeah, they call him Friday Night Brandon. So even like our kids are like just think he's the coolest dude on the
Yeah.
planet. Yeah.
What
I
what's
understand a caricature at least.
that is no, and I'll
is-
accept
yeah.
that. I'll accept that for sure. The caricature of the perception of. No, I do. I even wanted to say that like that this whole thing, the studio that we keep referring to is Mark's studio. Mark is an incredible. Is it luthier? Is that how you say it?
Technician.
Mark works on guitars and amps, and
What's it
he
called?
tours with big bands, and just to be able
Say
to
it by name?
meet him over the last.
Free
What'd you say?
promotion?
Oh yeah.
Say it by name. Give him some free promotion.
Well, that's the thing. Mark's really busy.
Or should we not? Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
Never mind.
Mark, do you want me to give you a shout out?
He wouldn't even fix my
not
guitar
go
for this.
Said, sorry, bud.
Now, Mark owns Oklahoma Guitar and Amp Repair in South OKC, and he also tours with Ryan Bingham as a guitar tech and other things. And his past artists he's worked with are also really phenomenal. I think he did a long stint with Hanson, and
Bopped around.
I'm serious. The ability to just get to sit down and like collaborate with these people, with you people, like it's all I've ever wanted. And I don't know if you were able to grow up and play with action figures. Like I remember when my son got his first action figure and he wanted me to play guys with him, and I was like, all right, let's play guys. And I had to dig deep to get back into that. Like, all right, I gotta have some enthusiasm. No enthusiasm, it sucks. And
It's like Peter Pan, you lost your marbles.
exactly. And I just feel like I have taken an approach with creativity and songwriting in that same vein where I'm just playing guys, man. We're just hanging out, like telling stories, trying to make stuff happen. And you got to have that vulnerability, and you got to feel safe enough to look like an idiot. And I don't know everything. I haven't figured anything out, but this is cool. And I'd love to do this a lot, like just being with great people who are great at what they do, who obviously care and are just crazy fun. Like that's kind of what I'm after, I think.
Man.
To show
And
my
that
kids.
kind of life and levity and joy is going to spread, man. It does. by nature, and the fact that you put that into every moment with these guys and every moment in your music, it makes it a joy on the other end to be the person listening and experiencing it with a smile on my face. So it truly is a joy. Thank you all so much for bringing that into this space today and spreading it outside of this space. Man, we're just so excited to pour any kind of fuel or fire on a spirit like that. So
Man,
Yeah.
I can't. I mean, I'm uncomfortably indebted to you and your kindness and your as well, everyone here, the excellence and the ability to do what they do at a high level. You just don't get to see this many great people get together at the same place often. So
well, here's some more, baby.
yeah, it's not lost on me, and I'm eternally grateful. And thank you so much for lifting it up and letting it be heard. I want everybody to experience the magic of what art is and what creativity is and what music can be. And when someone finds themselves stuck, I want to encourage them to keep going, because that's what I'm going to do. And not that this goes anywhere or does anything or does whatever. It's already exceeded expectations, but I would just say that I really relate to the insane fear. And I have been able to overcome a sense of fear that was debilitating at one point in my life just by going and trying and trying. So I would say do the scary stuff, man. When you feel scared, I think it's time to make a move. That'd be my message if I just had one thing to say to somebody. It's like, you feel scared, I think it might be time to
Start chasing it.
chase it, do something with it.
It's a signpost that you're headed in the right direction.
I think it has to be. That's how I've operated, and I'm not old, and I don't know anything. But I found myself in this room right here with you people just by doing that. So,
What do you mean, you people?
yeah, you people being my very, very best friends, and I just wouldn't have it any other way, man. Like, it's crazy to me. This whole thing is crazy. Just playing at we did a run through rehearsal, and that was the first time I got to really play it full band live, and I was like, man, I feel so blessed to have like a cool song and amazing friends, and like, if this is, I keep saying like, if this is it, but I did want to say it's not just music either. It's like I love collaborating on all of it. It's the video side of it. I don't know if you noticed, we had artwork up on the wall. We had Oklahoma artists. We had Buck Bennett on there. We had Zonley, a piece from him that he did for me a long time ago. Like, I think it's not, when I say do the scary stuff, I'm not just talking about music or even art in general. It's like, have the tough conversation you need to have. You're scared of it, just do it. Say I'm sorry. You need to, just say it, embrace it. It's like, do the scary stuff. Because on the other end of the scary stuff, so far, has been some pretty cool experiences. So
That's beautiful.
I'm taking chances and I'm keeping receipts.
All right, that's a good.
Dude, yeah. I know that was past 30 minutes.
Hey, I just want to say I didn't mean anything I said about Brandon.
oh, could you do that on the record?